Hey, what's going on, everybody? Don Martino here with Mr. Jose Espinel. We are back for another episode of Andor. We're going to get into our spoiler-heavy thoughts here, so just so you're warned. But yeah, man, I am blown away with the show every week, and this episode just got even better. If you ask me, I thought it was incredible. The locations, again, they're paying off, man. Not doing those volume stages. It's visually incredible. The score, I thought, was the best it's ever been this week, honestly. The sound design, I was incredibly impressed with. I thought the TIE fighters haven't sounded this good in a long time. They were great. They were great. And the way that they were used was excellent. I thought this storyline was great. We're learning a lot more about a lot more characters. Jose, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, no, I'm, loving this show. Every episode just gets better and better. And honestly, like you said, the score is probably the best it's the best it's ever been. The TIE Fighter sounds amazing. The stories that we've been following, we've been following a couple, and all the suspense in this episode has been great.
Yeah.
Following Cassian and his team, that was all great. Finally found out Tweedledee's name.
Cyril.
Which is cool. Cyril, yeah.
Yeah, which I think they have said it before. I just didn't catch it before. But yeah, Cyril.
Yeah. Him and his mother, their scenes were pretty funny. Some comedic relief for this episode, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, honestly, overall, as an episode, I loved it, and this show just keeps getting better and better, and I love it so much. I just love each week. Looking forward to watching this show. It's great.
Yeah, well, I think going back to that with the mother, I think we're definitely figuring out a lot more about why Cyril is the way he is, and that relationship's clearly damaged. We need to learn more about Uncle Harlow. That's interesting. I bet he's going to come into play here at some point, obviously. But we kind of predicted that he was going to be on this path of vengeance now against Cassian because his life's kind of bad right now, and that the mother would be instrumental in that, just maybe not in the way we thought. I think she is instrumental in his path for vengeance, but not in the way we thought. She's just somebody who's not proud of her son in any type of way, and I found that to be actually a really crazy, interesting dynamic. Mon Mothma's family life is being more and more exposed with each passing moment. Her daughter and her are not doing well. The husband really is just a lazy bum and doesn't really care at all, doesn't seem like. And so I thought that was crazy. I love the Mon Mothma stuff in this episode, man. I loved the sequence of them flying in Coruscant at night in their little car ship, as you put it. Phenomenal, man. I mean, it looked beautiful, and I loved everything about that. I don't know, what'd you think of Mon Mothma this time?
Yeah, she had some interesting stuff happen in her life, like you said, with her daughter. Not going well at all.
No.
Like you said, the dad's just kind of he's just kind of a laid back, let me just enjoy what the fuck's happening. I don't care. My life's great. I'm just chillaxing, living life. Whereas his wife, Mon Mothma, is obviously living this stressful, not too well life, as a result of that, and obviously other stuff that's been going on in her life. So it's been an interesting story arc with Mon Mothma so far, but I'm excited to see where this journey takes her in the future.
Yeah, and I think none of this stuff matters if it's not written well, and writing was a big part of this episode to me. Like, exactly. I think writing was probably the biggest strength. I thought the dialogue it flowed so well, man, throughout this entire episode. I think more than the other episodes, even though the other episodes are written very well. This one especially just had the strongest writing, I think, of the whole thing, and it was very important to bring Cassian's character to the forefront here, because Cassian, he had some great lines, man. He had some really strong character moments that really made made his character fully realized, to me at this point. I think we really understand a lot more about what Cassian's about and the type of person he is. It's very smart, right? He's studying everything. The guy was
he really just, I was about to say,
well, yeah, no,
he's just really taking full control. He was taking full control of this team. As you could see, he was like calling all the shots, and he was questioning the team. Was like, so you don't know how to get the ship out of here? What would you have done without me?
Right.
Like, and saying how they need to switch people because one was left-handed, and then he started saying that everyone else is right-handed, and then he's like, the kids prefers right hand but
Yeah.
shoots left. Like, he's just really just taking control of this team and studying them, and knows how to, even though he's not really much of a team player, is showing how he can dominate when it comes to leading a team.
Yeah, I like that when Taranum asks him or tells him to get a handle on things, before he starts making suggestions. The fact that Val thinks back to the moments that she's had with Cassian already, like especially thinking back to the moment where he knew exactly how to find the weight, which I thought was a really good scene. But she was thinking back to that and being like smart about this, like, asking him questions,
why do you think that? Yeah, exactly.
Right. And he showed he's had a handle on this whole time. He's been studying, observing, and I think that was fantastic. The other thing is he's a very smooth talker, man, because the way he got himself out of that situation when Scheme, took the Kyber from him, I was like, whoa, and he got himself out of that. He was quick about the way he went about that, and everything that he did, every move he made, telling them that he was pretty much bought for this job. It makes sense to do that because he knows it's going to be a problem later if I don't bring it up now, which led Scheme to that really great thing where he told him the story about his brother, and I thought that was a funny line. That was the closest to an apology that you're ever going to get. And Cassian's close enough. Come back,
and then great. Cassian was like, that's good enough.
Yeah. But I just thought it was a lot of the dynamics between the characters. The new kid, Kesso or something like that. I'm not familiar with the name too much, but
Karis.
Karis. I'm sorry.
It was Karis, yeah.
Yeah, Kessel was mentioned in this episode, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Karis is this kid. He's not a kid, but he's younger, obviously, than everybody. It seems like it anyway. But he's so smart, man, and they made him very likable with his type of dialogue when he was talking about those two tools that they're not traceable or anything like that, but if you know how to use them right, then you can get out of situations. It's just great. He's just so smart. Yeah, super smart and very likable, I think, and he's clearly going to be the brains of the operation, which I kind of like that everybody has their kind of significant role of everything in that team, which I thought was really good. So not a lot from Skarsgård, Luthen, whatever it is. Not a lot from him in this episode. I did like the moment we got, obviously, but it wasn't a lot. He's really kind of nervous, I think, about Andor's mission, right? So he's kind of waiting to hear back about it, seeing how everything went at this point, making sure it went successful. So he does have nerves about it, which I did like that they showed that. I also like back at the shop, we got another Easter egg with the holocrons, which I thought was cool. I think I saw a hyperdrive laying on the table. So there were some cool little nuggets in there still in this episode. So I thought that worked out very, very well, the way that was used in the episode, even though it wasn't a major moment. But then you go to Deidre, who's really smart. I mean, incredibly smart in the Empire, and she knows she's putting the stuff together what the rebellion's doing, right? What they're plotting out.
It's too random to be random.
Right.
It was random purposefully. They're just so smart, and it's not just her too. It's her I don't know, her assistant or whatever you want to call him. It was like he's there to help her as well. It's like them two, their brains together. They're doing something there.
Yeah, and what I liked about this is, again, I kind of touched on it on our last episode talk where we were talking about episode 4, but when the Empire is not a buffoon, when they're not buffoons and they're smart like this, they do feel more threatening. A lot. You feel the threat of the Empire a lot more in this show. And I love, by the way, though, that we'll talk about some of the references. I mean, they talked about Fondor, which has been in multiple Star Wars projects, so they mentioned that. They mentioned Jakku, which is obviously Rey's planet in Force Awakens. Hosnian Prime, which pretty much becomes the new Coruscant after the Empire kind of goes down. That Hosnian Prime, it becomes the new Coruscant. Leia kind of goes over there, and they make that the new capital, pretty much. Hosnian Prime. That's what Kylo Ren blew up in Force Awakens. So I thought that was a cool mention, and Kessel, obviously, which is we all know what Kessel is. It made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
Exactly.
So a lot of great references in this episode to really show that Tony Gilroy, he gets it. He really gets it.
He does.
And Suzanne Wright actually directed the episode. She directed the last one. I forgot to give her kudos because I think that her shooting has been just incredible. I mean,
Phenomenal.
she really knows how to shoot. I think it was Suzanne Wright is the name. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. I'll make sure I fact check it next time. But Suzanne Wright did a phenomenal job shooting her way around this episode, and same goes for the last episode. I thought that she has done a stellar job, but it doesn't feel disconnected from what Henry What's-His-Ass did in the first 3 episodes and with the direction. They've both just shot incredibly well, and her especially.
Toby Haynes.
Toby Haynes, yes. Toby Haynes did 1 through 3.
4, 5, and 6 is Susanna White, yeah.
Susanna White, there we go. But phenomenal job, yeah, and just loved that. Loved the visuals and loved, which, by the way, I want to talk about because I think he's one of the coolest new characters right now because we got some really good backstory from Blevin, Lieutenant Blevin.
Oh, Lieutenant Blevin, yeah.
Yeah, because wow, what a strong presence on screen, this guy, because you learn so much about him in a shorter period of time in this right. When Vel tells Cassian about his promotion, his kind of love story that happened, and then fell in love, lost the promotion because of it, and now he's just kind of
then he lost his woman, and now he hates the Empire. So
which was great because you were asking how do you even get up to that position, and I remember you were asking that when we were watching this, and then they told you right there he was already kind of there. He was already kind of there, and so I just thought everything here made sense. And man, I'll tell you what, because the way the team is set up, while I like the dynamic together, man, there's a lot of tension between them, and I'm very nervous about how this mission's going to go. I think we're going to lose a couple of them on the way out. I think that's set up perfectly for episode 6. I know some people might complain like we didn't really get the mission or the action this time, but I don't think it's as
it wasn't
important.
Needed. It wasn't needed.
It wasn't, and it's not as important as setting up. We're gonna get an even better mission now because of this episode. Because now we're really
episode 6 is gonna be I can't wait. And the awesome thing too is that it's being directed by Susanna White. So
right,
I can't wait.
I think the directors are splitting them up in 3 with this show because they're all kind of getting their own little singular arcs in a way, if you think about it. Because Toby Haynes got his own little singular arc with
1, 2, and 3, right?
Andor's, that was kind of Andor's flashback episodes and learning more about setting up this story, and then this is its own arc, and I really like that structure for this. And by the way, I mean it just keeps feeling a little bit more Game of Thrones to me, which I love that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean I really feel like we're watching Jon Snow and the Wildlings when we're watching Cassian. But I mean that in a good way. It's not like it's mimicking that. It's just like it's done with that same amount of attention.
It's like the Star Wars version of that.
It really is. Yeah, it's really done with that same amount of tension and great writing. So I loved all that, and man, it's just getting better, dude. I mean, Cassian, I'm falling in love with more and more as a character. This one obviously focused more on him, which was really good. Than it did more than the last episode anyway. So anything else you want to add about this that just kind of stood out to you?
Just the fact that this lieutenant is just double agenting the fuck out of the Empire in this planet is, I love it. Seeing the gold, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of gold.
Yeah, we did get to see how much it actually was, which is a shitload.
A shitload it was. And just again, like you said, the tension in this team, you can really feel it. It's like you're there. And like you said, I think in the next episode we're going to be seeing a couple of them go. It's gonna be sad because we have kind of grown a connection to these characters in this team. So I think this episode built up the next episode very well. It was very well written, directed, and I just give props to them for that. One
more thing I think we need to mention here, because I want to give kudos again to Susanna White on this, because the TIE fighter scene when it swooped down to the ground, I mean, we've never seen anything like that in Star Wars. That was really cool.
That was amazing.
I mean, it felt so Star Wars at the same time, even though it was something new for it. I mean, it just, and the way that was built, that was one of the most tension-filled moments, because again, you didn't really know what it was going to do. You know, you didn't know if it was just going to keep flying past them,
or if it was just going to start shooting at them
over, or what.
Or just shoot them or something. Like, you never knew.
You mentioned something too when we were watching. I wanted to make sure I brought up, because I love that the element is still there. The fact that I kind of talked about how beautiful the scene was already in Coruscant when they were driving in the vehicle, but I do love that they're keeping that traffic in Coruscant up. You know, like they're making that look. They're keeping it very in canon, you know, and I love that about the show, man.
It reminds me of was it episode 2? Like just the whole driving in the streets, you know, in the sky, those
Attack of the Clones, very Attack of the Clones, and we saw it. It wasn't Coruscant, but we saw it in Bad Batch. There was a planet they went to. I can't remember which one. It wasn't Coruscant, but they went to a planet that was like that. And you see it in Clone Wars all over. You know, it's awesome, man, because it's really, I think it was brought to life in this episode in the best visual way that we've seen it.
I was gonna say, those cars looked very nice in this episode.
They were awesome. I mean, I'm jealous of her transport.
I was gonna say, it makes me want to have those kinds of cars now.
Yeah. Like I would actually get like a toy of that, you know, like, because I think it's 100%, pretty of Mon Mothma's.
You know, I'm gonna get I'd like that with the Mon Mothma figurine inside of it.
Yeah, I'm interested too to see this charity event that they're going to as well. I'm definitely interested in that. I think that there's gonna be some stuff that goes down. I feel like
there's me a lot of hate going towards Mon Mothma for sure.
There's gonna be tension in the room. I think some people 100%. Are gonna know, and they're gonna be onto her, and I think that's gonna be interesting. And I'm really fascinated.
And of course, her husband, like always, is just going to be that fat, lazy bastard that just sits in the back and enjoys the show.
Exactly.
Like always.
I'm mostly fascinated to see Genevieve O'Reilly's performance work, though, because, you know, she's going to have to, you know, steer people the other way, you know, and really play politics. And I'm excited to see Genevieve O'Reilly get that opportunity for real in this, because she's been great in the show so far. Like, honestly, one of the highlights. I think she is just a grade A actress, like, honestly. Like, that scene with her daughter, again, I'll touch on that real quick. I mean, just because she was so good in that. And when she was walking out of the room, and what'd she say? She said, I really appreciate the support, or something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, she's amazing in the show. But yeah, guys.
Also, I'm ready to see more of Skarsgård in the next one. I hope there's at least some, like, you know, communication with him, you know, between the team and him.
There will probably be, because you know, he's going to be really waiting on more, and I think they really set up more of him, because she said we had clients in the morning. I think we're going to see that, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll probably see a little bit more of him, just kind of like what a day-to-day life is in the shop, you know. So for him, I would love to explore that. So that's going to be really interesting as well. But yeah, guys, look, this has been another episode of Andor. I'm so happy that Jose is back here again to talk about it, and that we got to watch this one together. It was so good. I mean, mind blown, honestly. I love that from beginning to end, even just from that opening shot, man, with Cyril. I was like, that's a really cool way to open this, you know. It's so good, man. So well done. Yeah, good job to Tony Goatworry and team on this one. Hey guys, before we go, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications. I've been Don Martino, that's been Mr. Jose Espinel. Real quick, before we do get out of here, last thing, we are going to start our Paul Thomas Anderson watch series this week. I'm super stoked about this. I think that even Jose is not prepared, because I know Jose hasn't seen most of them, so I know he's not even prepared for the
I've only seen one of his movies.
I don't even think you're prepared, my man, for the deep conversations that we're about to get into off these movies, man, and it's gonna get deep and heavy, because that's the type of content Paul Thomas Anderson delivers, and I can't wait for those discussions, guys. So go check it out over on Movie Mornings, and again, make sure you're subscribed so you get that, and hit that bell. Yeah, guys, look, I'm so excited about this show. I was having a bad day. Great Star Wars can cure that, and honestly, and so I appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will talk to you guys later.